A major step has been taken for decentralized AI, and it's a huge deal because generally what we've seen so far for AI, particularly where it relates to social data, is it's highly centralized because centralized companies, as you might expect, own and control a lot of this data. And so today we're going to be talking about a TAO project on Subnet 13 that is working through a solution to this where we're essentially trying to decentralize and aggregate a lot of this social data, which I think is super cool and a very crucial task if we are going to get to the full power of decentralized AI. So today we're going to be talking about Data Universe. I want to explain a little bit about what they do, how they work, and then if you are interested in using and potentially running your own, whether it's training sets or you just want to do some data analysis on some of this data that they have pulled, it's all available. I'm going to be going through all of that type of stuff. Also, the link is in the description if you want to check out Data Universe a little bit closer. So let's go ahead. We'll dive right on into looking at Data Universe. So as you can see here, this is the world's largest social media data flow in your hands. It is your gateway to 55 billion rows of structured, high-fidelity social media data from X, Reddit, and YouTube, with up to 80 million new rows added every single day. Now, of course, this is going to be very important and helpful if you are looking to do any sort of large language model training in a decentralized way using social data. This is basically a requirement. So it's really cool, and it's really good to understand and have all of this data across different markets because it gives you not like a hyper-tuned or maybe an LLM with a blind spot or something like that, which is of course really important to understand. So a whole bunch of features that Data Universe has. Of course, you can go through and just kind of scroll through the website. I always love these like dynamic scrolling sites. I think they're super cool. But you can see here, you've got the world's talk, and you can turn it into actionable insight. They've got the size, they've got the relevance, they've got the precision, all the different type of stuff just from scraping these various platforms. So they have a bunch of data here. You can see their like actual product that Data Universe uses is called Gravity. This is our real-time data scraper, and then Nebula, which is our interactive visualization engine. So you make social data work for you. Moving along, actually, and before we continue along, I did just want to make sure that I mentioned, I actually forgot this in my introduction, but this is a sponsored video. They have paid me to talk about it. Again, I really think this stuff is super cool, and the TAO ecosystem as a whole, I think is super valuable. So I'm more than happy to do sponsored videos for really strong projects like this that are trying to help fix many of the key issues that we are having and we are facing with decentralized AI. But again, we'll move right on through as we talk about Gravity and their product that they are looking for here. You can see Gravity is, you could target your chosen keywords, hashtags, labels across 3 of the top major social platforms. You could build for speed, design for scale. You could essentially be just scraping as many keywords as you want, constantly live, in real time, a lot of this type of stuff, which is great. You also could see it is a basically ready for anything that you're looking for like maybe a quick point in time insight to full stack like AI pipelines where you're piping in this data that AI is being trained on kind of consistently. So they also have data across time. You can see here they've got historic data sets, or you could just have real-time streams, essentially anything coming in, like as it happens, essentially. So also, we did already talk about the 80 million rows of added every day, again, coming in from X, Reddit, and YouTube particularly, which is really good. We're actually going to be talking a little bit more about some of the how this data comes in, how you can pull your own, how there's some that has already been pulled maybe by others, some presets, a lot of those types of things. This is where the marketplace is, so we'll take a look at that as well again here in a second. And then here in Nebula, they have essentially where you're able to visualize your data in 3D, which I think is super cool. So you can upload your data into Nebula and explore it as an interactive 3D point cloud. You can drill into data shifts, spot emerging patterns, and then generate shareable visual assets for decision makers. You can kind of see exactly what it could look like here, where it's like you have basically different clusters of data talking about various certain things, and then those are going to be closer together, and then you're going to have other clusters all around, and then it gives you kind of a way to show you like the density, I guess you could say, of what exactly people are talking about, which I think is super cool. So you also can see who uses Data Universe. Again, this is talking about users. They also do have a lot of partnerships where where they're working with both the actual scrapers of pulling in this data. They also, of course, as you can see here, they have various monthly packages, so you can, whether you're a large business, if you're a small business, or you're just looking for like personal use, You can see here kind of exactly what you're looking for. Currently, they just have the personal use. The small and large business are coming soon, but you'll see it relatively reasonable for, kind of the scraping and the API calls and stuff, which is good. So if they don't have any of those like prepaid right now. If you are interested, though, of course you can just contact them and reach out directly, and then they can go and do custom credit types of things and top up pricing and all this type of stuff. So really flexible pricing if you are interested and you want to check it out. And again, if you are interested in just the basic and you want to check it out for yourself, there's no monthly fee. And then, of course, you have a $5 free usage credit just to try things out and maybe pull a couple of things that you might find interesting. And then from there, you can do 5 cents per 1,000 records if you pull in the app, or 10 cents if you do it through API, depending on kind of what your uses are and what you're needing. Pretty affordable overall. Now, again, if you're looking to go super, super big and pull some large data sets, it could get expensive over time. But again, that's why they have some of these data plans coming in. So that is an overall just kind of quick overview of what Data Universe does. This is also, Data Universe is a collection or a project brought to you by Macrocosmos. So Macrocosmos actually does a lot of things across a bunch of different subnets within the TAO ecosystem. So they definitely are a big player within the TAO ecosystem, which is good to see. You also can see that they have the dashboard. This is actually just right here. I just opened it in a different tab so we could see kind of exactly what we're looking at. Right now, you could see total, the majority of the data that is scraped is actually from Reddit. Then after that, there is a minority, but still a chunk that is coming through X. And then they do have YouTube, but that is in more of like a beta process, or in a beta position. So not necessarily quite there yet. You can see here about 46 million records per day. Again, I think it just kind of it varies based on kind of the volume that goes through kind of the social verse, I guess you could say. And then here you can see here's the daily trending in terms of what people are actually talking about. And what are the like most popular Reddit threads. And you can also see the same thing on X. If you click it over to X, it doesn't look like it's loading up right now, but that there essentially will be toggleable, and then you should be able to see the same thing on YouTube whenever they eventually get this added in. You'll be able to see the trending. Now, they also have the miner leaderboard. This is where people are going to be pushing stuff into here and kind of scraping the web. They, of course, do get rewarded. We've talked about the Yuma consensus and TAO and some of the kind of core features of TAO. That's not necessarily super relevant to this video, but that is how a lot of these people are being rewarded based on a lot of the stuff that they're doing. So really kind of important stuff there. You can see here, these are all of the different subnets that Macrocosmos is on. Data Universe is actually on subnet 13, but they are on 4 different subnets overall. Now, let's go ahead and let's actually take a look at the product itself. So if you are wanting to start any sort of data collection task, you can see this is the process in which you create your own. We'll go back to the menu. If you go back to the menu, you'll see here's the marketplace. And then it's also going to load up some most popular data sets and things that people are looking at currently. So you could see, potentially like electoral types of things. There's Japan yen volatility. Here's, NVIDIA and AI chips earnings sentiment, 61,000 records in this analysis over here. A whole bunch of different things and a whole bunch of different use cases. Hopefully you can see kind of the variety of which you could see the data being used for. Now, if we go back to where we were, that is actually right up in this top corner. You could see the create a new scraping task. And this new scraping task is where you can find something specifically that you want. So for example, you could name your data collection whatever you want. You could put it as whatever you're looking to scrape. And then you can go in, you can check on Reddit, you could check a specific subreddit and keyword. You can just check a specific subreddit, you could just check a specific keyword. Similarly, you can go through X, do the same type of thing, hashtag and keyword, just hashtag, just keyword. And then on YouTube, as you can see, this is in a beta, but you can go through and collect things from a certain channel. Now, it does not appear that they have kind of like a specific cohort or a specific type of content. So for example, if you were interested in TAO, you wouldn't be able just to look for TAO as a keyword on YouTube. You'd have to go to, my specific channel, and then from there probably sift down through all TAO and then go to somebody else's and find their TAO videos and on and on and on. So that's the only kind of, I would say, somewhat limitation with YouTube so far. But this is, I would say, very common when people try to like pull things from YouTube, because even if you try and pipe it into more centralized AI tools, you still run into a similar type of thing. Now, they also have this mission commander. This will help you kind of build your own data collection task if you may know what you want, but you may not know exactly the best specific things to put in to get what you want. They do have this mission commander, which will help a lot with that. So overall, you can see this is their gravity product that we've been talking about. So really cool process and a really cool tool if you are looking to get more like kind of data analysis. Maybe you're training an AI, maybe you're training a limited AI. You're not even doing like an LLM, but you're doing like maybe you're hyper tuning an existing LLM onto a specific data set or something like that. There's a lot of different options and a lot of different flexibilities here in terms of kind of what you could do. So many different use cases in terms of how you might potentially use this data, but it is cool that it's here. And I would say it's relatively inexpensive to source if you are kind of looking for that type of thing. So overall, that's a lot of what we have today. Like I said, I do have that link in the description below if you are wanting to check out Data Universe and Gravity a little bit closer. They've got a lot of really cool things going on. If you were looking to do anything surrounding decentralized AI, TAO is a rock solid place to kind of go for a lot of that data harvesting and collection. And then you could pipe it onto some other kind of Web3 solution to get your kind of like your decentralized application that is fully decentralized start to finish, which is pretty cool. So again, hopefully you found the information in the video useful. If you did, of course, I really appreciate all the support, like, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. And if you have any specific questions about Data Universe, Gravity, Macrocosmos, TAO, any of that type of stuff, feel free to drop those in the comment section below, and I will read and respond to all of those. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one.